Welcome back, dear students. This is Dharamveer Singh, Biology faculty of your school, and today we will discuss about the second chapter of class 11th Biology, that is biological classification. Students, so far we have discussed first chapter, that is the living world. In living world, we discussed everything about the diversity and how these diverse organisms, plants, animals and all classified. What are the different criterions for the classification of these organisms? And here we also discuss about the taxonomy and naming, that is binomial nomenclature, most accepted nomenclature system, that is binomial nomenclature. But here in this chapter we will start with the classification, how the living world is classified. Okay, here when civilization starts, means when we are evolved and our civilization starts, then animals, means they have some enthusiasm for the study of the diversity of the living world, and for the diversity humans time to time classify the living world into different scenarios. So first time in the world, philosopher Aristotle, first time Aristotle classified the living world or the diversity into two groups. One is plant and another is animals. Means he tells us that on this earth only two type of the organisms are there. One of them are plants and another of them are animals. They classify these organisms philosophically, not scientifically, only on the basis of food, clothes and all. So they classify plants into three. One is herb, shrub and trees. And they also classify animals into two groups. One is red-blooded animals and another are that don't have red blood. We know that those organisms that have RBCs in their blood have red blood. बेटा जिनके ब्लड के अंदर RBCs होती हैं उनका ब्लड रेड होता है. Why? Because RBCs contains a protein that is known as hemoglobin. This hemoglobin contains a metallic substance that is iron. What is iron? Fe. And when this Fe combined with oxygen, then it produces red color. But all the insect have the copper containing pigment, hemocyanin. Some of the insects have copper containing pigment, that is hemocyanin. Okay, so this is the basic classification of the organism that is classified by the Aristotle. This is the first classification system. These have number of anomalies, and for overcome these anomalies the Linnaeus come in focus. What happens now? Linnaeus classify the organisms. Linnaeus also classify Carolus Linnaeus in 1735, his journal Systema Naturae classified the living organisms into two. One is plantae and another is Animalia. One is plantae and another is Animalia. Then what is the basic difference between the Aristotle and Linnaeus? Means Linnaeus arranged all the fossil records as well as the living organisms, and after that when he collected all the data, then classify the organisms on the basis of classify the organisms scientifically. Okay, they arrange all the data and classify the organisms scientifically characters. Okay, so they tells us that plants are those that are autotrophic in nature and produce foods, and also classify the animals are those that are eats like plants or some they take their food from some other substances. Okay, so Linnaeus classify the living world into two, plants and animals. Okay, but their classification system not only based on the morphologies, it also based on the morphology, it also based on their scientific collection of the data from their fossil records as well as the living organisms. Okay, so Linnaeus classify the organisms, and it is most of the time it is accepted for the means number of the researchers, but as research means increases their area, as research broaden, then what happens, number of anomalies come in the classification system of the Linnaeus. Like Linnaeus have some drawbacks, they have some drawbacks, like he is unable to distinguish between unable to distinguish between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Linnaeus unable to distinguish between the prokaryotic organisms and eukaryotic organisms. He is unable to distinguish between the photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. He is unable to distinguish between the photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic. So Linnaeus have a lot of drawbacks. So overcome these drawbacks, new classification systems are come in focus. Now the third classification system that is given by the third classification system that is given by Haeckel. Third classification system that is given by Haeckel in 1869. This was three kingdom classification. Three kingdom classification. It was three kingdom classification. What Haeckel do? Haeckel comprises or add a extra kingdom, that is Protista. Haeckel added one more kingdom in the two kingdom classification of Linnaeus, that is Protista. Second one is Plantae, and third one is Animalia. So what Haeckel does, Haeckel added one more kingdom in two kingdom classification system and formed three kingdom classification system. This Protista composed of eukaryotic, unicellular organism. We can take an example of amoeba. So Protista contains eukaryotic unicellular organisms. Okay, now what happens? He also unable to explain about the prokaryotic organism. He is unable to explain about the prokaryotic organism. Then the next classification system that is come in 1938, and that was given by Copeland. What happens? In 1938, Copeland given four kingdom classification. बेटा क्या हुआ? अब क्या हुआ, अभी तक हम लोगों ने पढ़ लिया कि हैकल ने क्या किया, जो यूकैरियोटिक सिंगल सेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म थे, अमीबा हो गया, हमारा यूग्लिना हो गया, प्रोटोजोअन्स सारे के सारे, उनको तो क्लासिफाई कर दिया, लेकिन वो अभी तक प्रोकैरियोट्स के बारे में कोई भी एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दे पाए थे। नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस, कोपलैंड in 1938 gave 4 kingdom classification, and in 4 kingdom classification he included one more kingdom, that is Monera. So first is Monera, second is Protista, third is Plantae, then fourth one Animalia. So this is the 4 kingdom classification, and Monera contains, what Monera contains? Monera contains all the prokaryotic organisms. It contains prokaryotic organisms like bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma. All these are the prokaryotic organisms. I will explain Protista in detail after 5 kingdom classification. Okay. So now what happens? The studies of classification or more research evolve that tells us about, means research are evolved, and this research tells us, the scientist, about the classification system on the basis of some criterions. Means classification system is dynamic and change time to time because new research are added in the classification systems. बेटा जब नई नई रिसर्च आई तो क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम के अंदर जो कमियां थी उनको दूर करते रहे साइंटिस्ट, और सबसे लास्ट में कुछ क्राइटेरियंस, कुछ बेसिस बनाए गए ऑर्गेनिज्म को क्लासिफाई करने के लिए, और उन्हीं बेसिस पे ऑर्गेनिजम्स को क्लासिफाई किया गया। ये बेसिस क्या थे? एडवांस बेसिस ऑफ क्लासिफिकेशन। some advanced basis of classification. Here I will discuss about some advanced basis of classification. These are cell structure. We can say that second thing is nature of cell wall. Cell structure, nature of cell wall. Third thing is mode of nutrition, modes of nutrition. Fourth, methods of reproduction. Fifth one, habitat of the organisms. And we can take one more, that is phylogenetic relationship. Phylogenetic relationship. So these are the basis, or these are the advanced basis of the classification. First is cell structure. Which type of cell? They are prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Next one is nature of cell wall. If the cell wall is present, then the particular organism is plant. Means if the cell wall is present, then particular organism is considered as plant, and if the cell wall is absent, then particular organism considered as animals. अगर बेटा उनके अंदर सेल वॉल है तो प्लांट हैं, अगर सेल वॉल नहीं है तो उनको हम एज ए एनिमल ग्रुप करते हैं. मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, द पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म इज ऑटोट्रोपिक और हेट्रोट्रोपिक. मीन्स मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन टेल्स अस अबाउट the particular organism is autotrophic or heterotrophic. After that, methods of reproduction, either they are reproduced by sexually or asexually. बेटा मेथड के अंदर बताया गया कि ऑर्गेनिज्म सेक्सुअली रिप्रोड्यूस करेगा या एसेक्सुअली रिप्रोड्यूस करेगा। नेक्स्ट वन इज हैबिटाट, दे आर एक्वाटिक, टेरेस्ट्रियल and either they are present, if they are aquatic then what are the different they are aquatic or terrestrial. And next one is phylogenetic relationship, what are the relationship, what are their evolutionary relationship when they are evolved. बेटा क्या हुआ, जब हम लोग वाटर के अंदर से एक बैक्टीरिया से एक ब्रुगलिन एल्गी से इवॉल्व हुए तब इवोल्यूशनरी रिलेशनशिप क्या था। इन सारे बेसिस को ध्यान में रखते हुए थ्री किंगडम और 4 किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम दिए गए। बट इन लास्ट दैट इज द क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम दैट टेक द 2 मेजर advanced basis, that is nature of cell wall and mode of nutrition, is 5 kingdom classification system. 5 kingdom classification system simply follows all these criteria. बेटा 5 किंगडम क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम सारे क्राइटेरिया को फॉलो करता है, मेनली फोकस किया गया इन 2 के ऊपर, बिकॉज सो फार वी हैव अनेबल टू सी दैट नो साइंटिस्ट क्लासिफाई फंजाई एज अ सेपरेट किंगडम। अभी तक किसी भी साइंटिस्ट ने, रिसर्चर ने फंजाई को एक अलग किंगडम बना के एक अलग किंगडम नहीं बनाया। नाउ R.H. व्हिटेकर स्टडी अबाउट द सेल वॉल ऑफ द फंजाई। बेटा क्या किया, उनने फंगस की सेल वॉल की स्टडी करी, उनका मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन देखा। दे फॉलो अ स्पेशल टाइप ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन, heterotopic, they are either heterotopic but they also follow a special type of nutrition that is saprophytic, means they are heterotopic but in heterotopic they are saprophytic, not all but most of the fungi are means saprophytic, not all but most of the fungi are saprophytic, means they grow on dead and decaying organisms, means some of the fungus are able to grow on dead and decaying organisms, like you have seen an example of the mushroom, you also seen example of mucor, rhizopus, all these are the saprophytic fungus. So now we will discuss about the 5 kingdom classification system. So students, in 1969 R.H. Whitaker, in 1969 R.H. Whitaker proposed 5 kingdom classification. 5 kingdom classification. So in 1969 R.H. Whitaker proposed 5 kingdom classification. In 5 kingdom classification he included number first Monera, number second Protista, number third fungi. Now we classify fungi as a separate kingdom. Why? We earlier tells you. Fourth, Plantae, and fifth, Animalia. So this is 5 kingdom classification system that contains 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. This is Plantae, T-A-E, Plantae and Animalia. So if anyone asks you about the monerans, what are the monera? Monera are those organisms that are prokaryotic, but all the prokaryotic are single cellular, and Protista are those organisms that are also single cellular but they are eukaryotic, single cellular. So how we distinguish between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic? What is the cellular criteria? बेटा वो क्या क्राइटेरिया है, वो क्या सेल के अंदर स्ट्रक्चर है जिसके बेसिस पे किसी को हम प्रोकैरियोटिक बोलते हैं और किसी को हम यूकैरियोटिक बोलते हैं. दिस इज अवर टुडेज लास्ट टॉपिक, द सेलुलर क्राइटेरिया और सेलुलर स्ट्रक्चर्स दैट डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन द प्रोकैरियोटिक और यूकैरियोटिक. ठीक है, आज आपको हम सेल का स्ट्रक्चर बना के बताएंगे हाउ वी कैन डिस्टिंग्विश बिटवीन द प्रोकैरियोटिक एंड यूकैरियोटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म. ओके, लेट्स सी. And in our next video we will discuss about 5 kingdom classification in detail, but here I am going to discuss about distinguish between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. What the criteria that distinguish and किस बेसिस पे हम इसको प्रोकैरियोटिक बोलते हैं और इसको यूकैरियोटिक बोलते हैं. So we see this is a cell and this is also a cell. We will see this is a cell and this is also a cell. Then why a cell is prokaryotic and a cell is eukaryotic? So here listen me carefully that if this is genetic material and this is also genetic material, either prokaryotic or eukaryotic, both the cells contains genetic material. DNA is the genetic material of prokaryotic as well as the eukaryotic organisms. Both have the genetic materials, both have the cytoplasm. Prokaryotic also have cytoplasm, eukaryotics also have cytoplasm. Eukaryotic also have cytoplasm. Then what is the difference? The difference lies here. Eukaryotic contains a clear-cut membrane on their genetic material. What? Eukaryotic contains a double membranous structure or a double membrane on their genetic material, and this is known as nucleus. What is known as? Nucleus. Nucleus. Pro and caryon and eu and caryon means, and here nuclear membrane is absent. Here nuclear membrane is absent. So what is the structure? What is the name of this structure? This structure is known as nucleoid. This structure is known as nucleoid. Then why this is called prokaryotic? From where this term came and from where this term came? So pro means, this is a Latin word, and pro means primitive. What means? Primitive. And caryon means nucleus. This is a primitive type of nucleus, or those cells that have primitive nucleus. And what is a primitive nucleus? A primitive nucleus क्या होता है? A nucleus that unable to contain the nuclear membrane is known as primitive nucleus, and those organisms that contains this primitive nucleus are known as prokaryotes. What they are called as? Prokaryote. And here in this scenario, U means true or advanced. U means true or advanced. And caryon means nucleus. Karyons means nucleus. So those organisms that contains true or advanced type of nucleus. Advanced nucleus means the nucleus that contains nuclear membrane on their genetic material. ऐसा nucleus जिसके genetic material के ऊपर nuclear membrane है, उसको हम advanced और true nucleus बोलेंगे. And those organisms that contains this nucleus are known as eukaryotic. So this is the criteria to distinguish between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic. Okay, so I think this is all for today's class. Okay, thanks dear students. In our next video we will discuss and start 5 kingdom classification in detail. Okay, in next video we will start about the 5 kingdom classification and we discuss 5 kingdom classification in detail. Okay, thank you.